as spiritual fathers to many around the world, if there's one thing they regret deeply, is the fact that they blessed the wrong person. Every man of God has made that mistake, including Jesus. Jesus also made that mistake. Somebody say, you mean Jesus, blessed Jesus? How can Jesus make that mistake? We will show you. But we hope you can hear us clearly, right? Yes. And those watching us can hear me clearly. Because it's possible to bless the wrong person. Let's look at Genesis 48. Genesis 48. Genesis 48.
Genesis 48.
Please answer. We don't do burial service.
Genesis 48.
From verses 1. It says, and it came to pass, after these things, that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick. And he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. But then you find verses 2, it says, and one told Jacob and said, behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. Now, here, there's a setup here. Who is this one? We were not told. Somebody came to tell Joseph, who was the prime minister of Egypt. Your father is sick.
Yes, sir.
Joseph said, okay, fine, let me take my sons. Let's just go and greet daddy.
Yes.
And that same person went to tell Jacob.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That Joseph is coming.
Yes.
Which means Jacob, whose name had been changed into Israel,
Yes, sir.
didn't want Joseph to know that he wasn't feeling too well.
Yeah.
Please answer us. Is that what we just read now?
Yes.
Because that one we don't know.
Yes.
This is one of the challenges every man of God or woman of God, depending on how much God uses the person. This is the challenge a spiritual father can have. Because there's always someone who will just come and bring you an information. And the information is not wrong.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. But sometimes it can stir you up to take certain decisions.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you see, I've been told that many times. Brothers, you listen to people a lot. You listen to what people say and all that. There's no man of God who does not listen to people. As a matter of fact, even when you listen, as someone say you listen to people, don't listen to people. When you don't listen to people, they say you don't listen to us. So you see, those are the kind of people Jesus described that are in the marketplace saying, we've been singing but for you and you have refused to dance. When you dance, they say you are dancing too much. Jesus said, John the Baptist fasted a lot. They said he had a demon. Now I'm eating. They say I'm a glutton. Because Jesus did not do dieting. 40 days fasting was enough for him. Now notice, he says there is one who told Joseph. Now notice, who is this person? Could be an angel, it could be any person. But certainly not one of the brothers. And the Bible didn't even say it was an Egyptian, because if it was an Egyptian, he would have told us it was an Egyptian. I hope they can hear me, please.
Yes,
right?
they can. Yes, sir.
The Bible says, and it came to pass, after these things, that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick. And Joseph now took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And one told Jacob and said, behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel, Jacob now, strengthened himself and sat upon his bed. And Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. Now here, he's not saying the one who came is God Almighty. Yes, he's making reference to what has happened a long time ago.
Yes,
close to maybe 60 to 70 years ago. This was here. He's making reference to when he ran away from his brother Esau, and then laid his head on a stone when he, and then saw angels ascending and descending. Yeah. That's what he's making reference to here. Yeah. But we see here one of the first reasons why a spiritual father can bless the wrong person. There's always somebody who may just come and bring an information and speak volumes of someone to a spiritual father. And of course, everyone likes to hear good news, certainly. I mean, Jacob here was sick, and to hear that his son, the prime minister, took out time from his duties to come and see him, who is not excited to hear that? Barnabas, who later became an apostle, sold all his properties and gave it to the apostles. And what did Apostle Peter call him? The son of consolation. And then they went as far as ordaining him as an apostle. But later on, in Acts chapter 14 into chapter 15, he fought Paul the apostle. And they split it. And the Bible says the fight was terrible. It was a terrible fight. And he was someone the apostles, the 12 of them, including James, trusted very well. They liked him a lot. They called him a son of consolation. But at the end of the day, after the quarrel, even Apostle Peter did not visit him. Rather, Apostle Peter went to see Paul. Because they finally realized, oh, we blessed the wrong person.
Jesus.
Even the Holy Ghost even chose him. Chose Barnabas.
Yes, sure.
The Holy Ghost said, separate unto me Barnabas and Saul for the work that I've called them. And the Holy Ghost finally saw that he blessed the wrong person. So once you mean the Holy Spirit can bless the wrong person, mean did God not say I regret that I made man? Who made man? The Lord God. Who is the Lord God? The Holy Spirit himself. And he had expressed regret that he made man. So if he can regret making man, he can regret blessing the wrong person. Someone said, but he sees the end from the beginning. It's true. But then again, you can change your end.
Exactly.
You can alter your end.
Yes, sir.
Jesus.
As Eunice quoted earlier, God says, my thoughts that I have towards you, they are thoughts of peace.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
to give you what?
An
expected end, a clear future, an expected end. But you can alter it.
Jesus.
You can alter the end. So notice one thing. There's always someone who will always come and speak to the ears of a spiritual father.
It's true.
It's something you can't pray away. Because the one who comes to speak to that spiritual father is not a devil. So it is possible one can recommend someone and speak volumes of the person. And sometimes you find the leader. Because once you enter the corridors of spiritual fatherhood, you are trusting. Because you operate in the arena of love. So you become more trusting. You accept, you just believe that no one wants to harm you. Because you operate, you see with the eyes of love. You just believe. The Bible says love believes all things. What we're trying to show you here is that whatever blessing Jacob later released, it was never supposed to happen, but one initiated it. Went to tell Joseph, your father is sick. Came to Jacob, your son, the same person. Yes. So you see, if there's anything we must query, we should query this one, but we don't know him.
Yes. Right.
We can't find him.
Yes.
See, who is talking to you? Quite frankly, I've had some regrets in my life. In fact, what I regret the most, the mistakes that I regret the most is not the others. It is the fact that on few occasions in my life, we've ordained the wrong person. And the Spirit approved it. The Holy Spirit approved that this person should be ordained. It's amazing. Because even the Holy Spirit himself, he himself too. Do you understand? So you find out that when you see what happens today in ministry and around the world, it's a recycle. You know, people think that There are higher levels of extraterrestrial intelligence.
Yes.
Don't worry about that. The reason why we say that is because if one is operating in that realm of intelligence beyond the human spectrum, the higher level of extraterrestrial intelligence in the kingdom of light, you understand what we're trying to say. You will not even query what we're saying. Because everyone looks good.
It's true. Everyone does look good.
Don't understand this. Alright, so let's show you another reason again why it is possible you can, a spiritual father can bless the wrong person, right?
Yes, sir.
You sound upset now.
No, sir.
Okay, read on. 1 to go. From where you stopped. From verses 4. 1 to go.
And said unto me, Behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and I will make of thee a multitude of people, and will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. And
Go on.
thy 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine.
Okay, now.
And Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine.
Alright, now go to verses 9 and 10. Oh, okay, start from verses 8. Let's start from verses 8 to verses 10. 1 to go.
And Israel beheld Joseph's sons and said, Who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, They are my sons, whom God has given me in this place. And he said, Bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them.
Now, stop. We just said 8, 9, and 10. Now,
10.
you're reading 10, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, hold on first. But notice what Jacob asked. Say, who are these?
Yes.
Said, they are my sons. There's a lesson to learn here because, sometimes a lot of parents carry their children and they say they want to travel home because your grandma is about to die.
Yes.
She wants to see the children first.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that if the grandma is in Christ. But everything is wrong with that if you know that your grandma was not in Christ.
Yeah.
Everything is wrong with that. Why? Because grandma's spirit or whatever was controlling grandma is looking for who to jump into next.
Yes, sir.
This is always the case every time. Whether grandma is in Christ, when we say grandma now, grandma or grandpa, whoever the grandparents are, that is about to depart. Whether it's a grandma or grandpa, whoever. And if it's a cousin that says he wants to see your children, that means that the force that has always controlled that person is looking for who to land on so that there can be continuity of activities.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can disagree all you want. That's why we said if you understand extraterrestrial intelligence, man lives in the terrestrial realm.
Yes.
But if you understand extraterrestrial intelligence, if you have it,
Yes, sir.
and that comes through the skill of understanding
Yes, sir.
based on who teaches you. Some things the Lord has forbidden me never to say. Never. Well, at least some of the things He has graciously granted us to say, we will say to you. But those who have it
Yes, sir.
can tell what is about to happen.
Right.
Now, Joseph, they came to tell you that your father is sick. Go and see him. Why are you taking your sons? Oh, but my father has never seen my children before and all that. So this will be an opportunity to see them. I know your father is a man of God, which will be the best reason, be the best reason why your children should go and see. Please, are you upset, please?
No.
Are you sure those watching us can still hear me? You are saying yes. Are you checking?
Yeah, I'm checking. We're still live.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
They can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope they can. If they don't, it's okay.
Yes.
So now, you just set it in such a way I can still hear it too, so that I can hear myself. No, don't worry. There's a way. Okay. Now, what was the last thing I was saying before that interruption? I passed the start.
No, we're talking about Joseph when he was told that his father was
Taking children to taking your child to. Sometimes, I just want my children to meet the man of God and all that. Now, first of all, there is nothing wrong in taking your children to see a man of God for prayers and all that, whoever, even if it's your father. But the thing is, what we're concerned about is what your father will do. Because now, these children were born into royalty.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
They did not know God, yet they were already born into success.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So, for me, by the time we're done, if time permits, I would have preferred they were never blessed.
Yeah.
Personally, I would have preferred, because the reason why God blessed Jacob was because he didn't have what these children already had. They were born into it. Not that Jacob was the son of Isaac and all that. Isaac had some struggles in his life. Amen, man. Isaac had some struggles, even though he was the son of Abraham.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's true.
Amen, now. Right? And now we see a pattern working now, because Isaac died a blind man. Now you're about to read in verses 10. Read now. Now the eyes of anyone could not see.
So he could not see. Yeah.
You see that?
Yes.
So it looks like what happened to Isaac now is happening to Jacob now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it was when Isaac was blind and could not see that Rebekah, his wife, deceived him to bless Jacob instead of Esau.
Yes, sir.
And now
Here it is.
Again.
he's about to do it again now.
Wow.
God.
Again, this is also another reason why no matter who the man of God is, again, you begin to look at the sharpness of spiritual sight.
Spiritual sight.
Because this is another reason, again, you can bless the wrong person. The first one is what? One person that is moving, talking to different parties. You understand? So there are people who do settles very well.
Yes.
They are not possessed. They are not. You can't cast out any demon. They are not witches, but they can set things up. You don't need to see for that one, because the person is not coming spiritual. He's just trying to tell you the truth. You are not feeling too well. So person is coming to see you. Is it bad?
No.
Just come on, casual conversation. But even a casual conversation, it can be a setup.
It surely can.
Because somebody came to see us once and brought me an offering. And the person, I was so glad, because the money came when we needed it the most. We were talking. We were gisting. I just went upstairs to use the bathroom and wash my face, because I was feeling sleepy and the person was still around. Then the moment I poured water on my face to wash, the Lord spoke to me. He said, that offering, return it. He said, you don't know what they brought to you? I said, it's an offering, man. Lord, I think I needed this cash. Then by the time for those who have lived in our house, they know how my bathroom is. The sink, there's a mirror. The moment I lifted up my face, I saw everything. So I came back. I said, thank you very much. Let me pray for you. I pray for you. I said, take. I sow it back into your life. The Lord bless you. The Lord promote you. They said, no. I said, no. I said, you know you have needs too. Don't worry. God will do. The next one you bring, I'll collect. But the Lord is not permitting me to collect it. But I'm really grateful. But it came as a casual conversation. There was one who brought me a gift in a hurry and left in a hurry. Said they are in a hurry. When I saw, the Lord said, return that. Anything, how can you be receiving that kind of gift in a hurry? No even room to even bless the person. The Lord said, don't use it to. Throw it away. So we told our folks, nobody should use that thing. Throw it away. The person brought it in a hurry. How can you bring something to me and you don't want us to bless you? That's terrible. But you see, we don't understand markings. People don't mark things. So say, I'm in a hurry, I just bought you this thing, I was just passing by. Okay, let's bless you. At least even if you are in a hurry, at least still say amen, let's bless you. So don't worry, I'll come back. That kind of thing I'm not collecting. Anyway, you can collect, not you. You know you are nice. But this is another reason again. See, sight. Now he's doing what his father did to him. He brought them close and kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had no thought to see thy face, and lo, God has shown me also thy seed. He did. God showed me also your seed. Okay. Let's read now from verses 12. 1 to go.
And Joseph brought them out from between his knees.
Please, remember, we'll soon close. So please read fast. 1 to go.
And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him.
Now, you know what he's doing here? He set it off.
Yes.
Why? Because by revelation, or maybe by history, he knew what happened between his father and his uncle Esau.
Wow.
Okay.
So this time around, he brought Manasseh, Joseph. He's holding Manasseh to his left hand, which is the right of Jacob,
Yes.
and hold Ephraim in his right hand, which is the left hand of Jacob.
Yes.
So Joseph knew deliberately. This one that my daddy is talking about, the Lord is showing me that I see this and that. Don't continue this mistake.
Yeah.
Because now this was going to be the third generation.
Yes, sir.
And it was going to be a generational mistake. Now you need to understand, Jacob was really not supposed to be the one, really. It was Esau. Really. Yeah, just because Esau was just a reckless, stupid, careless dude. Like the way some of us have been in the past. By God's mercy, God has spared us. Lord have mercy upon me. But even though God hated the guy Esau, Esau still succeeded. And you will not really see where Esau had issues with God, except later on when his grandson had a son. His grandson Eliphaz gave birth to a son called Amalek, from where the Amalekites come from. But apart from that, Esau as a guy, his first and second generation, excellent. Jacob was a handful. His blessings can only be activated by women around him. You know those kind of men that you need women to. It is good. We are not saying women are bad, but Jesus did not need women to activate his blessing. There was a reason. One day we'll talk about the kinds of blessings, because sometimes some of us, God is merciful. Let's continue. Because there are some blessings, it matters which gender is foiling it. Like Apostle Williams and more, Papa Williams and more.
Yes.
The kind of grace he carried, it was his secretary
Yes.
that had what it took
Yes.
to blow off. She was a physical anointing. But because he didn't marry her
Yes.
and married somebody else,
Yes.
she got angry
Yes.
and took away the mailing list. And the moment she left the ministry collapsed.
Yes.
The man of God ended up in a wheelchair and died.
Yes.
He was a man of God who used to kick people out of wheelchair.
Yes, sir.
So again, sometimes you need somebody who is unselfish.
Yes.
See, listen, we can tell you this because it's been a long journey for us coming. We've met different kinds. And in the mistakes we've made, we've been marking. So this is it. So this is it. Oh, this is where we missed it. This is where, because it's terrible for you not to know where you missed it. Hey, okay, this is where you missed it. This is where, okay, God, give me this kind of one instead. Give me this kind of one. Oh, sometimes the Lord will say, no, I want you to correct this mistake. I will still bring somebody like this kind of person, but win. Show markings. Because, you see, higher intelligence, right?
Yes, sir.
Can oppress your anointing.
It's true, sir.
Somebody who is operating with the higher level of intelligence can finish your anointing.
Sir, it's true.
Now imagine if you have both.
Amen. I see.
So Joseph here, he's trying to use intelligence. Because he already knows the family story. With the way things are now, it's not that my father is talking about the Lord. It looks like he's about to depart. Okay. So remember, the children were by his knees. Yeah. So Joseph was a tall guy. That means that his children, Manasseh and Ephraim, were young people. Yeah. They were just like by his knee. That's the height.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Because even when they bowed, their hair could only reach his knee. Even when they bowed. Because Joseph was a tall guy. You understand? Yes. This will tell you something about his side because his two sons were by his knees.
Yes.
Now, he is trying to use intelligence.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
But you see, here's the point. There's a reason why Joseph. You see, Joseph was a guy, if you study his life, he was not somebody who prayed.
Yes.
You will never see where Joseph really prayed.
Yes, sir.
Actually, he never did. But now, the Bible says God showed him favor.
Yes, sir.
Amen. Now.
Amen.
The Christians of today will see Joseph as somebody who was fortunate.
No way.
But he was somebody that God favored.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Because God saw the way he was ill-treated.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the reason why God favored Joseph was not because Joseph was a special breed. It was because of how much his father loved him.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because the reason why his brothers hated him was because he was the last born before Reuben was born.
Yes, sir.
Because he went into, before Benjamin was born,
sir.
sorry. Because he went into captivity. Benjamin was born after Joseph had gone into captivity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Amen. They are here.
Yes, sir. We understand, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So Joseph had already gone before Reuben was born.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
No, sorry, before Benjamin.
Yes, sir.
Actually, he knew about Benjamin. He knew, sorry. Benjamin had been born because, Benjamin had been born. But because he later requested for his brother Benjamin.
Yes.
It's true. He knew. But the point is that, I mean, he was far older than Benjamin, no doubt.
Sir.
But the father loved this guy.
Yes.
Say the father.
This guy.
Father really loved him.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Because the father believed in the blessings in the family,
Yes.
the blessings, the family blessing. Now you need to understand, the blessing Abraham blessed Isaac with, listen carefully, was not the blessing of the Lord. It was the family blessing
Yes, sir.
for the sake of continuity of dominion in everywhere they went.
Yes, sir.
It was a family dominion.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That blessing was not the blessing that will bless the entire world. So what Abraham released on Isaac was not the blessing of God.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It was a blessing of family dominion. Anywhere they went, they will always be on top.
Amen.
It was a,
Yes, sir.
but this blessing had a character. It preferred the lastborns to the first. Left to Jacob, he would not have had any other child apart from Joseph.
Yes,
Joseph
sir.
would have been his last.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
But Rebecca, what was her name again? Rachel
Rachel.
wanted more children
Yes, sir.
because she was only this Joseph and Reuben were the only two she gave birth to biological. Sorry, Joseph and Benjamin. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Why do I keep mentioning Reuben? Were the only biological two that she gave birth to, but the others were from her servants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, of course, the first wife, her sister, and her servants too. Okay. Now, the reason why we took time to explain this to you is that the blessing of God,
Yes, sir.
say it,
The blessing of God.
the real blessing of God,
The real blessing of God.
that Abraham did not give Isaac. That's the one, the angel.
That's the one, the angel.
Hold on now. That's the one, the angel that Jacob wrestled with, brought.
Yes, sir.
That's why Jacob now said, I will not let you go until you bless me. But you already blessed. He finally discovered it is family blessing.
Exactly.
And this family blessing always has issues with women.
Yeah.
We have to win their favor to succeed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
He now said, this is, it took him over 20 years to finally realize it. That this is what I suffered for, to get, wearing my brother's regalia, carrying goat hair, just to collect this family blessing. It's not worth it. Because he suffered.
Yes.
He was cheated.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It was a family blessing.
Yes, sir.
But the real one that God gave Abraham to be a possessor of heaven and earth, Abraham died with it. Did not give it to Isaac. That's the one the angel now brought to Jacob. And now changed his name. Because he told him, for you to enter this blessing, you need to change your name.
Yes, sir.
Now notice, when he was sick on the bed, he was called Jacob. But when he stood up, the Bible says, strengthened himself to now bless. He wants to talk as Israel now. So you want to give God's blessing. Now, you see that? He wants to give God's blessing that he received from the angel to the children of Joseph. But now you are picking the one that the family blessing likes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. Lastborn. God.
Do you understand what we're saying?
Yes.
Because Abraham was not the firstborn in his own family. His brother Haran was his elder brother. So there was already a family blessing that was working for them. And that one located always the last ones, the lastborns, the lastborns.
Yes, sir.
Isaac received it because Isaac was not the first to be born.
Yes.
Ishmael was.
Yes.
Do you understand? And then later on Abraham had other sons. Now Isaac now, mistakenly, Isaac wanted to correct it.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But let God's blessings upon the life of my father, which my father didn't give me.
Yes.
Let the blessing reconcile with the family blessing that I carry. Let it rest on the firstborn so that things can be right. Because the Bible says if the first fruit be holy, then the lump is holy.
Oh.
But bushmeat and blindness with the witchcraft, household witchcraft of his wife,
Yes, sir.
Rebecca, twisted everything. He located Jacob. Now, Joseph knew about it. Now says, look, my father has the blessings from God. He also has the family blessing. Because the blessing of God is never supposed to rest on a second born. The one on Abraham was never supposed to rest on the second born. If it must rest on the second born, the firstborn must have been dead. Like Haran died, Abraham now received it.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Jacob now received it while Esau was still alive.
Yes, sir.
So that's why the angel changed his name.
Yes.
So that it will be that he is dead. And that is why in the book of Isaiah said, the prophet Isaiah, by the Spirit of God, said, Israel is my firstborn.
Yes.
See, now he now took the place of Esau.
Yes.
Because the blessings of God. I hope you are not missing this thing.
Yes, we are not.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I've said?
Yes, sir.
If you don't worry.
I
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please don't put burden on yourself. If you don't understand what we just said, don't worry. So now, Jacob, Israel,
Yes, sir.
Joseph's father, now is about to depart, has both family blessing and God's blessing. So let him share it. Manasseh will receive God's blessing,
Yes.
which will come through the right hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then Ephraim, the second born, will receive the family blessing.
Yes, sir.
Now I've been able to correct it. Because Joseph was a man who was known for correcting things that were wrong. He corrected the economy, fixed everything. If you study before this time, he was a guy, he did not go to school, but he knew how to strategize. He was a man of strategy. He knew, he fixed the economy. He was that kind of person. There was an intelligence God gave him, a higher extraterrestrial intelligence. But now, one of the things that can destroy that kind of intelligence, like we said, extraterrestrial intelligence can destroy your terrestrial anointing.
Yes.
But one of the things that can attack and destroy extraterrestrial intelligence from the kingdom of light
Yes,
is
sir.
sentiments.
Hi.
Sentiments.
Sentiment.
That's why Samson fell for Delilah. Samson, he created a riddle that only him could solve. The wisest men in both Philistine and Israel didn't know have an answer to it. He was operating at an extraterrestrial intelligence.
Yes, sir. Wow.
With the spirit of might at work.
Yes, sir.
Yet emotions finished him. That's why we say, you see, this thing, when people talk about this man of God made this mistake, this man of God for this and that, thank God he even fell. At least he's still alive to even see it and then know what to fix. You that is even talking, do you know what awaits you? Do you know what awaits you? Do you know what really awaits you? Hey. That's why Jesus turned. He said to the women who were crying for him, he said, you are crying for me, don't cry for me. If they can do this to me, a green tree, how about your own children that are dry leaves? He used the word dry leaves. That's another, that's a code. That word dry leaves. Because in the highest level of vicious occult, a woman who cannot give birth or who can give birth to children that will never be fruitful are called dry leaves. And Jesus used that term. There are some things that anointing can never fix. You can say a man of God powerfully anointed is working miracles, but he sees one case that he said, no, this one is easy. And the man of God say, don't worry, I will join you in prayer. He can't do jack because this thing is coming from a higher dimension. And this thing is not anointing that can fix it. It's a supreme intelligence that can fix it. It is all not God can trust you to give you. People are like I said, I have a prophet friend.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last Sunday, I was with a prophet friend, and for some reason, after we finished service, the Lord told me, stand up, go and visit him. And I didn't know why. So that's why I left on Sunday early. So I just said, let me just stop by. And he had just finished service. He was talking to his members when I walked in. He was excited. He didn't even know I was the one. So I said, it's me. So I don't know why the Lord just said I should stop by. And I was very sleepers. Not that I was coming to preach or something. Very sleepers. So honestly, I'm glad to see you. We just gisted. He said, and then I said, let me go. I don't know why God told me to come, but God bless you. I'm glad I saw you. I hope you are fine. This coronavirus. Say yes. Say we've not spoken in a while. Say yes. So I said, no problem. So he walked us to our car. By the time we start, he now entered inside the car. He said, now that you are here, there's somebody I'd like you to pray for. He said, because I have some special cases here. He said, man, Say, I'll tell you, prophet of prophet. I have some special cases here. I've been praying, but man, the battle is tough here. So I said, who are the people? He said, you saw those ladies now. And I saw them. Because the moment I walked in, they started leaving. You know, like they say, Pastor, we'll see you later. You see those ladies? I said, what happened? He said, let me call them. So he called them. He said, please, I'd like you to call. My prophet friend will pray for you. I'd like him to, remember that situation you had? So they came. Brother, what happened that day? I've never seen it in my own life before. What happened that day? And in this prophet, in his own church, he has a bathroom that has a jacuzzi. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Activities. One had to run into jacuzzi. Do you understand? There is so much to say in that. But at the end of the day, Paul said, man, I see why the Lord said you should come. I said, I guess I see why the Lord said I should come. But I was not coming to pray. I just wanted to say hello to you because he told me to come. He said, these people almost finished this church. I said, look, you know why the Lord gave me access to this thing? He said, because I saw the way the Lord was using you to operate. So I've never seen this kind before. I said, yes. I said, because of the mistakes I made in Mount Moriah. The Lord brought me to a knowledge. He said, let me teach you. I said, that's why we were able to do this. Because sometimes mistakes can open the gates to enter extra knowledge. He says, true knowledge shall the just be delivered. So I told him, if I had not made those mistakes in Mount Moriah, which was why we lost Mount Moriah, I said, we will not be able to do this. Because this kind of people say yes. I said, you see, this kind of people, they can cripple your anointing. Your anointing is like a tissue paper to them. Now, the reason why we said that is because now, Joseph was very, very strategic. He had planned everything. He's a master strategist. The favor of God has given him higher supreme intelligence. But the sentiments of his father, Israel, who was a second born, even though he was a twin, always went for the second born. Even though he was blind. And made the biggest mistake ever. The biggest mistake ever was that Jacob, Israel, blessed Ephraim instead of Manasseh. Now I know that you may have heard sermons by different men of God. Ephraim, he received it. Any power that said not so, receive fire. This and that. Jacob became an enemy to his soul. You know, we ministers, we can preach the sermon the way we want it to go.
Yes.
Joseph knew his father deliberately continued this mistake. You are meeting these guys for the first time, even though you are even blind. You only smelled them, you kissed them, felt them, to bless them. You see that's why he brought them close and kissed them. So he knew which one is which. Sentiments. It crippled the extraterrestrial intelligence Joseph had. Joseph was not anointed, but he was operating at a supreme, higher, extraterrestrial intelligence in the kingdom of light. But sentiments, emotions destroyed it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You know, you've heard so many men of God preach sermons on. You see the story of Samson and Delilah. It's one sermon for me. I'm careful of preaching. Not because I've not made mistakes. I've made mistakes, but it's also because if you study that story very well between Samson and Delilah, did you notice what they said? The elders came to Delilah and said, we will give you offerings. Do you know what that means? That means Delilah was a Philistine goddess. She was their goddess. Delilah was not a human being. Yes, she was not a... You don't understand this thing. Delilah was a goddess. People don't know. She was a strange flesh. That was why even when Samson pushed the wall for the building to kill the people, Delilah was in that building yet did not die.
Eh?
The Bible never said she died. She was in that building. He killed everyone there. She was there. They were all there. But the Bible never said she died. Even when the building collapsed and killed he killed even Samson.
Yeah.
Why would he not kill Delilah? He didn't. Because she was not a human being.
Wow.
So if you think that Delilah is somebody who wears skirts, with a mini skirt and all that, shut up. You don't know. Delilah was not wearing mini skirt. She was dressing noble. People don't understand this. That's why the sermon they preach, Samson and Delilah, this and that. When you see strange flesh,
Honestly, sir.
and the thing is that nobody taught Samson that there are things like that. Samson never knew such people existed. Never knew. Never knew.
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, Genesis pre-existed or precedes Judges.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
In Genesis chapter 6, there were strange flesh who married the daughters of men. Right?
Yes, they were.
Yes, sir.
And yet this woman, unafraid, challenged Samson. Samson? You think he's just one woman wearing lipstick, tattoo nails, and all that, diamond stone, making noise, chewing gum. People think that's what Delilah is.
Yeah, that's what it's true. It's true.
Sometimes such people say can even be more decent than the sister is singing in choir with beret on her head.
Yeah.
Or what do you call it, beret? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yes, sentiments.
Sentiment.
You know what I mean by sentiments? Emotions.
Emotions.
Do you understand? Emotional affinity, emotional affection, likeness.
Yes.
That's why you can say a mightily anointed man of God marry a woman who is not even interested in ministry. Yet, the man of God is fire, powerful.
Yes.
How do you expect Hosea could marry a prostitute like Gomer? Hosea will be prophesying fire on the people. Gomer will be there looking at him. He can't do anything. When he's finished, they will have children. They will have sex and have children. They understand this thing. All right, let's read because of time. 1 to go. Verse 13. Okay, stop. Let's start from verses 12. Let's be fast. So, I know I took your time. Did I take your time?
No.
Okay. All right, let's read. 1 to go.
And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the ground. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his right hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him.
Read.
And Israel stretched out his right hand, and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wickedly, for Manasseh was the firstborn.
Read.
And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which spared me all my life long unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil,
Be fast.
the last and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head.
Stop. Now, see, the problem here, Joseph, you are trying to correct something that you already caused. Why did you bring them in the first place? You know what it has always been. You knew what made you end up in Egypt. It is because your father always liked you instead of the others who were older than you. That's why they traded you. Amen. Amen. Now you are bringing your children again to this same father. He will find one that he likes. Now, what he hated his brothers for doing to him, he is not doing it to his sons. The father wants to pronounce the blessing he received from the angel of the Lord on the sons, and he's giving it to the lastborn. And Joseph is saying, don't do it. If you had not brought them, if you had not even told your father who these were, Meanwhile, before we read this, remember, Jacob already told, or Israel now, already told Joseph. He said, these ones shall be mine. And shall be added to the others.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
These ones are mine. The next children you will give birth to, they are yours.
Yes, sir.
And Joseph never gave birth to any other child.
Wow.
Apart from these two.
Whoa.
Now he says here, yes, spiritual adoption. He adopted them. He said, not so, my father. For this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. Read. And his father
refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
You see that?
Whoa.
Again. This is the third time now. This is more or less the third generation now.
Yes, this happened.
Although generation is 100 years, but you understand this is the third
Like, yeah.
third set in this family
Yes, sir.
That happened.
that this thing is happening to. And the father said, I know it. You see, so I'm deliberately creating this mistake so that it can continue. And Joseph, you are even going to benefit from it, because in chapter 49, the blessings pronounced on Joseph, even Judah is a servant to Joseph. We talk about Judah having the blessings, the line of the tribe of Judah. Those people don't know. They say Judah shall reign forever. Jesus comes from Judah. Go and read Genesis 49. You will know that Judah is a house help to Joseph.
It's true.
I didn't write it now, it's there.
Yeah.
Genesis 49. Do you know what was pronounced over Joseph? It says the blessings of Joseph
Yes, sir.
from the everlasting hills of heaven shall rest on the head of Joseph. Judah doesn't have that blessing. It says Judah shall hold the scepter, and the scepter will not depart from Judah until Shiloh comes. Who is Shiloh? Joseph.
Wow.
He is the Shiloh.
Yes.
Anyway, so Ephraim received the blessing, right?
Yes,
sir.
Please answer now, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you upset?
No.
Please read. Who received the blessing here?
Ephraim.
Frame.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, the mistake you will make is to think that the blessing Ephraim received was just only family blessing. But then again, it is possible it was only family blessing he received. You know why?
Why?
But if it was a mistake, if it is possible that what Jacob released on Ephraim was a family blessing, then Joseph got the blessings of Abraham. And Joseph is not firstborn. So he's saying, Joseph, you and Ephraim, you guys are in the same league. You guys are in the same league.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Don't forget, Ephraim was at the right hand of Joseph, so that he can be at the left hand of Ephraim. He said, Joseph, you caused all these things. You already put Ephraim on your right hand and put Manasseh on your left already.
Oh,
So you and Ephraim, in the realm of the spirit, are in the same order. So Ephraim will collect the family blessing. You, my last born, that I love the most, as far as I'm concerned, leave Benjamin alone. You will be the one to receive the blessing Abraham received from Melchizedek the priest, which I received from the angel of the Lord who changed my name, and now I'm pronouncing it on you in Genesis 49.
Right. Yes, sir.
But let's go to Revelation chapter 7. Let's see. Oh, Revelation chapter 7. Let's be fast, please. All right?
Yes, sir.
Can you do that for us?
yes, sir.
All right? Let's start. 1, 2, go, please.
And after these things I saw 4 angels
Stop. You are writing notes. These notes you people are writing. Do you even read them? Don't deceive yourself. Some of you, it is when we will meet again tomorrow, right? That's when you remember. Some of you, you know. Except some of you can be honest that you read these things. How many of you read this thing? So you are writing it now, acting like you are busy. And you know you will not read them. Not me. I read my notes. Okay, let's read. All right. If you are going to read, fine. It's okay. But if you are writing just to keep yourself busy, so that Bro.Osi will not say we did not write. Okay. One to go.
I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice of the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their forehead.
He said, don't harm the earth. We want to seal the servants of our God on the forehead. This is where you have the 144,000 that the Jehovah's Witnesses think they are the ones. They are not anyway. These are the children of Israel. A Jehovah's Witness said that to me. I said, are you a Jew? Do you look Jewish? But he laughed. Let's read now. 1 to go.
And the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000, all the tribes of the children of Israel.
So now it says the 144,000 were chosen from the tribes. This has no business with the church. No Christian will be part of this 144,000. So you better settle it. If you are, Lord, let me make it to you. You don't look Jewish, first of all. So we are spiritual Jews. Listen, you see this thing, spiritual Jews. One day we'll take a class on it. Are you really a spiritual Jew? So we are in the flesh. Paul, who was saying it, is a physical Jew. So by estimation, he's a spiritual Jew too. You understand? Somebody, but he was saying that to the church. Go and read it in context and find out who he was talking to. He was talking to Jewish Christians. That is why even in Hebrews chapter 12 from verses 20 to 24, he says, "Ye are come unto Mount Zion, the heavenly Jerusalem," and all that. It is the book of Hebrews.
Yes, sir.
Hebrews, who are the Hebrews? Jews. And he was talking to the Christian Jews.
Yes, sir.
So if you are expecting heavenly Jerusalem for you, yet you come from Mumunede. So because now where all things are passed away, we are spiritual Jews. Listen, we will take a class on it so that you can understand. Listen, don't. Didn't you say you are a new creation?
Yes, sir.
What has a new creation got to do with?
Amen.
So say no, Jerusalem, we are from heaven, Jews. Listen, don't be a frustrated scarecrow. Don't be like that. I'm not. See, don't think I'm cursing you. I'm not cursing you. I'm saying don't be. Do you understand?
Yes,
don't be a frustrated scarecrow. I'm not saying you are. Don't be. Do you understand?
Oh, God. Never.
All right, let's read now. From verses 5 now.
Of the tribe of
No, let's start from verses 4.
12,000.
Let's start from verses 4 first, so that you can read it in context. 1 to go.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000.
Judah first.
Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000.
Be counting. Reuben. Okay, read.
The tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000.
God.
And of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000.
That's number one.
4.
Hey, read.
Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000.
That's number one.
5.
Of
The
the
tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000.
so Manasseh is what? Number 6. Okay, read.
Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000.
Okay.
Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zabulon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000.
How many is that?
144,000.
How many tribes? Is that 144,000 you just counted?
12 tribes.
How many tribes did you count? 144?
No, 12 tribes.
12 tribes. From each tribe, 12,000. Which will make up what? 144,000. Okay, now, did you notice that Ephraim was not part of this tribe?
Yeah, he was not
His
mentioned.
name was never mentioned.
Never.
Instead of Manasseh.
Manasseh,
Yeah.
that Jacob, Israel refused to bless.
That's one of the tribes.
Although he said he will be great,
Yes.
but he said my focus is on Ephraim. Manasseh is the one who made it at the end.
Yes, sir.
Manasseh made it at the end. But Ephraim, that Jacob embraced, kissed, pronounced blessings on, did not even make it. Joseph made it too. Did you read?
Yes, Joseph did. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So go back again. Let's see. Go back to verses 5. Let's see. Come on, man. Let's go back. Let's be fast. Now, you will see one tribe that was not mentioned here. Apart from Ephraim. Can you remember? Dan. Dan.
Yes, sir.
So Manasseh took the place of Ephraim.
Manasseh took the place of Dan.
Yeah?
Place of Dan.
Manasseh took the place of Ephraim.
Of Ephraim.
Yes, because that's what.
Ephraim was not mentioned here now.
Dan was not mentioned.
And Dan was not mentioned. Another person took that place. But which was Joseph?
Oh, yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Come on, man. Let's read again. List the tribe. The tribe of Judah. The tribe of what? Reuben. The tribe of Gad. The tribe of Asaph. The tribe of what? Naphtali. The tribe of what? Manasseh. The tribe of what? Simeon. The tribe of what? Levi. The tribe of Issachar. The tribe of Zebulun. The tribe of Joseph. Right? And then the tribe of what? Benjamin. So Joseph took the place of Dan.
Yeah.
Because Joseph really was not supposed to be listed as part of the 12 tribes. Really.
Yes, sir.
Because he was higher than them all.
That's true.
They were all to bow to him. Remember what he saw in the 12 stars. The 11 stars bowing to him, including his own father and mother. Do you understand? So he was not listed, he was not supposed to be listed as part of the tribes. He was higher than them all. That's why the blessings of the everlasting is on him. They were his own subjects.
Yes, it's true.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But since Dan missed it, even though he is still supreme, he is still a tribe.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But let's leave that down area. The part I want you to see is that Ephraim did not make it. Why?
Yes. Why?
Why? Yet Ephraim produced the first prophet of Israel, Samuel the seer. Samuel the seer. And to see the marvelous things Samuel the seer did, produced the first two kings of Israel, moved in an uncommon wavelength with God. Even from 7 years old. And the Bible says from Dan to Bathsheba, everyone knew that God has raised Samuel to be the seer.
Yes, sir.
The prophet himself. No word from his mouth ever fell to the ground. Now he can look into the corridors of eternity and discover that his tribe never made it with God. It was all man for himself.
Wow.
While others were going by clans, tribe, he is coming as an individual.
Me by himself, That is close tribe,
Anyway, let's find out why Ephraim did not make it. Let's see. Let's see something God said. Go to Hosea. Hosea chapter 13. I hope you've been blessed so far. Are you in Hosea chapter 13?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's read from verses 11. You'll see something. We want to read to verses 15. Let's read.
I gave thee a king in my anger, and took him away in my wrath. The iniquity of Ephraim is bound up, his sin is hid. The sorrow of a travailing woman shall come upon him. He is a wise son, for he shall not stay long in the place of the breaking forth of children.
You see that what he's saying here, God is saying, what I'll do to the tribe of Ephraim, it will be like a woman in pains, in labor. Okay, let's read.
I will ransom them from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death. O death, I will be thy place. O grave, I will be thy destruction. Repentance shall be hid from my eyes.
You see that? He's still talking to Ephraim. What he's saying is that Ephraim, you will not die. Even grave, I will reward grave for not taking you. Do you understand? God is saying, I would rather give myself to you, grave, than for you to take Ephraim. Ephraim must be alive to suffer what I will do to it. That's what God is saying here.
Wow.
Okay, read.
Though he be from among his brethren, and Ephraim shall come, the wind of the Lord shall come upon the
Now,
wilderness.
he said they will be successful, though. But the moment they gather success like this, that's when captivity will come.
Yes.
The Babylonians or other nations will come and take them captive. Ephraim. Let's read now.
And his springs shall become dry, and his fountains shall be dried up. He shall spoil the treasure of all pleasant vessels.
Okay. Read.
Samaria shall become desolate, for she has rebelled against her God.
Okay, now, read verses 14. There's a part. I don't know how you are reading. You are making us miss some part. Now, notice, he said, I will, hold on. I will ransom them from the power of the grave. That means, even when they are supposed to perish, I will deliver them so that they will not perish. It's amazing.
Yes.
God says, I will deal with these people. Even when they have an opportunity to die, I will save them. To be alive so that I can deal with them. See what the now says. He said, I will ransom them from the power of the grave. Wait, let me read. Because the way you read it, I don't know how you did it. I will redeem them from death. You see that? He said, I will bring them out, rescue them from death. Yes. Oh, death, I will be your plague. Don't worry. Oh, grave, I will be thy destruction. Now, notice. He says, repentance shall forever be hidden. That means God is saying, for Ephraim, I will never forgive you. What I will do to you, I will never forgive you. That's what.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What? So now we can see why they didn't make it in Revelation among the tribes. Because God swore he will never. So Amalek was even better. God even said, kill their infants, their babies, destroy them. I will wipe them out from the face of the earth.
Yes. Yeah.
What? For Ephraim, God says, no, these people, what they have done is beyond forgiveness. I will never forgive you, Ephraim. Ephraim, I pity you. The moment you are about to die like this, I will save you. I will keep you alive and finish you. Why?
Yes.
Let's trace it. Let's trace it. Would you like to trace it?
Yes, sir.
Let's trace what Ephraim did. Let's start with Hosea chapter 4. Hosea chapter 4. Let's start from verse 6. Now, notice what it says. Hosea chapter 4. It says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Because thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy Lord. I will also forget thy children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore, I will change their glory into shame. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's go to verses 12. Now, it says, my people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staffs declared unto them. For what? For the spirit of whoredom had caused them to err, and they have gone whoring from under their God, right? Okay, read. They sacrifice upon the
tops of the mountains, and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms.
Okay.
Because the shadow thereof is good.
Okay, stop. Therefore what?
Your daughter shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery.
Okay, now go. We're taking you gradually.
Yes, sir.
He's already talking. He said, my children are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Now he's already angry.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's not as if God, when he said my children are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, he was saying it because he cared. He was saying it because he's angry.
Yes.
All right, go to verse 16 now. Read.
For Israel slid back as a backsliding
Please
heifer.
don't be reading like this now. Okay, let's read. We want to be fast. Let's close. We want to go.
For Israel sliding back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will be there as a lamb in a large place.
Now, why did Israel backslide? He said Israel has backslidden from me. Why? Read. Ephraim
joined to idols. Let him alone.
He said Ephraim has joined idols. Leave Ephraim alone. Leave them alone. Really?
Their drink is sour.
Okay, read. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. For their rulers.
Shame through love, give ye.
Read verses 19.
The wind hath bound them up in the wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices.
Stop. Now go to chapter 5. This is chapter 4. You get to see he is already building a case. See, it's like God building an argument.
Yes. Yes.
You know, in the court of law, you build a case to support your propositions. Why the person is guilty or why the person is not guilty. So God is now building a case to let you know why I judged Ephraim in chapter 13 the way I did. Why I said, even when they want to die, I will save them from the grave and I will never forgive them. I will do this, I will do that. Why? God is building the case. Now, this is chapter 5, right?
Yes, sir.
Please, let's be fast. Let's read verses 3 and then verses 9. We want to go. I know Ephraim. Israel.
Not from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou comest toward them, and Israel is defiled.
Okay, now, you see that? He said, because of what you have done, the whole nation is polluted. Ephraim. I told other nations are supposed to fend for themselves. Say, no, Ephraim, you started this thing. Okay, now go to verses 9. Go to verses 9. Please, be fast, please. Let's go to verses 9. Ephraim shall be desolate.
In the day of rebuke, among the tribes of Israel have I made known that which shall be.
Okay, now let's read from verses 11 to verses 15 now. Ephraim is
and broke in judgment, because he willingly walked after the commandments. Therefore will I be unto Ephraim as a law, and to the house of Judah as rottenness. When Ephraim saw his sickness and Judah saw his wound, then went Ephraim to the Assyrian and said to King Jerah, yet will he not heal you, nor will he
You see that? He said when you have difficulties, economic distresses, it's like some other, like African countries today, like some African countries, when they are having distresses, they say they are going to the Paris Club, they are going to the London Club for aid, and all that. Thank God for the Swiss banks and all those things that have been supporting nations of the world and all that. And so if the Lord were to talk to, let's say, a country like Nigeria or Ghana or some of these African countries today, he would say, man, you can't come to me. Isn't it amazing that Nigeria has the largest number of mighty men of God, mightily used of the Spirit? They can hear God like this. It is from God's mouth to their ears. They can hear God, yet the economy of Nigeria depends on the Paris Club, the Paris Club, or aid from Western countries. So you see, some of these African nations are like Ephraim. So God is not saying, Ephraim, you had difficulties. You decided to go to the Assyrians. Has he been able to help you now? That's what he's saying. Has he been able to help you now? You see one beautiful thing about America. America likes to just do homemade. To say, man, we'll depend on our own. We'll do our own thing. But then if you are doing your own thing, why don't you call on the Lord? Or they say one House of Rep guy was praying and he was crying. Okay, has his tears now moved God? With the crisis that is happening? No. Okay, now, he says here, when Ephraim saw his sickness and Judah saw his wounds, then went Ephraim to the Assyrians. Assyria here is also known as Nineveh.
Yeah.
These were ancient names then. This is Iraq.
Yes, sir.
All right? And sent to King Jareb. Yet could he not heal thee. Let's read now. Nor cure you of your wound. Verse 14 to verse 15.
For I will be unto Ephraim as a lion, as a young lion to the house of Judah. I will tear and go away. I will take away, and none shall rescue him. I will go and return to my place, to acknowledge their offense, and seek my face in their affliction, and they will seek me early.
You see that? He said, I will trouble them that they will start looking for me early. Go to chapter 6. Go to chapter 6. Read verses 4. Please, let's be fast. Read.
O Israel, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For thy goodness is as the morning cloud, and as the early dew it goeth away.
Yeah. Oh, stop. Okay. Read that verses 5 again.
Therefore I have used them by my prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as a light that goeth forth.
Okay, now go to verses 10.
I have seen a horrible thing in the house of Israel. There is a whoredom of Ephraim. Israel is defiled.
All right, now go to chapter 6. Now, you see, from chapter to chapter, Ephraim, the reason why God raised Hosea the prophet was to be prophesying every day against Ephraim. Okay. Now, Go to chapter 6, right? Sorry, chapter 7. Let's read from verses 1 to 5. Can we be fast, please? Verses 1 to 5, please.
When I went with Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered.
You see that?
Yes.
When I'm ready to help these people, I will not say another thing again. I say, hey, these people don't deceive, because Ephraim is part of Israel.
Yes.
As at this time, he's not talking to Judah now.
Yes.
Judah is another country as at this time.
Yes, sir.
Because while Isaiah was the prophet for Israel, Isaiah was the prophet for Judah. And Ephraim is in Israel, which is called Samaria. Okay, now read. When I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of
Ephraim was discovered.
See that?
And the wickedness of Samaria. For they commit falsehood, and they keep crying, and the truth of God is going out. And they consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. They are before my face. They make the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. They are all adulterers, as the covering given by the baker, who ceases from rising after he eats the dough, until the meat was leavened.
Okay.
11. And the day of our king, the princes have made him sick with the bottles of wine. He stretched out his hands with corners.
Okay, now go to verses 8 to 11. Let's read from verses 8 to 11. Ephraim,
He has mixed himself among the people.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
you see that? Well, here you are you are looking at prophetic language. Here he's talking about people will not reach the generation of Ephraim will not reach adulthood. They will not mature. They will not mature. Do you understand? Yes, like now we say once you are 18, you are seen as an adult. Yes. If that law was to apply to the people of Ephraim, they will not even reach 18. Something terrible will happen to them. Wow. But they will not die. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Everything, they will always be at the mercy of the enemy, and the enemy will be doing. God says, okay, let's read. Let's read from verses 8. Okay, verse 9 now. Read.
Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Yet great hairs are here and there upon him, yet he knoweth not. And the pride of Israel testifieth to his face, and they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him for all this. Ephraim also like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt, they go to Assyria.
You see that?
Yeah.
Now this will tell you, if God can be angry with a tribe, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Then imagine what he has to say about individuals who behave like this, jumping from one place to another. Do you understand? See, there are some people, when you see them move from one church to another like that, it is not because they want to. It is because of where they are coming from. Their family. That family, if you study their history, the people of that tribe, they are like that. And so their people behave that way.
Yeah.
It matters where you come from. Okay, now go to verses 16. Verse 16 now. Read verse 16. Please, let's be fast. Verse 16.
They return, but not to the Most High. They are like this evil. Their prince shall fall by the sword for the rage of their tongue. This shall be their derision in the land of Egypt.
Oh, okay. We were supposed to read from verses 16 to verses 11 to verses 16. But you get to see what you can read all these things from verses 11 to verses 16. If you see what he was saying about Ephraim. Now go to chapter 8. Still on Ephraim. Go to chapter 8. Let's read from verses 8 to 13. This is God's anger. I mean, and you know, it is one thing for God to just say something once, twice.
Yes, sir.
God, every chapter, every day Hosea will wake up. The Lord say, Ephraim. 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 Oh, yeah. Let's read from verses 8 to verses 13. 1 to go.
Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles, and the vessel wherein is no treasure. For they are gone unto Assyria, a wild ass alone by himself. Ephraim hath hired lovers, yea, though they have hired among the nations. Now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes. Because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin, altars shall be unto him to
You see that? He said because Ephraim is raising altars.
Hi.
You see that? Okay. Okay. You are beginning to see it now, right? All right, let's read to verse 13.
I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange.
You see that? They took it and said, rubbish. Go and sit down. He said, Zoya, get out of here. Yeah, read.
They sacrificed flesh for the sacrifice of my offering.
You see that? You see that? Do you understand? Here he's talking about the offerings they would have given to God. They say, no, we will give ourselves the offering. God does not deserve it. What has God done for us? Is that not how some Christians behave today? Instead of paying my tithe, why don't I go and even do charity? Really? The spirit of Ephraim is already following this kind of people. And God is even angry. They say, go and sit down. You, Prophet Isaiah, you want to collect offering because we want to eat our money. Don't worry, we'll pay tithes to ourselves. We'll pay tithes. I mean, they were saying it. That's what you're reading here. Because it's these people. Okay. Remember what he said to Eli? He says, those who honor me, them will I honor. But those who dishonor me, I will lightly esteem. I will rubbish them.
Yes, sir.
Is that not what he told Eli? He told Eli, no one, you will never have a child that will piss by the word. That means you will never have male child. Yeah. But if you do, they will be begging for bread. It's better you don't give birth to only women. That's what God told Eli. Only daughters born in your house will succeed. That's what God was invariably telling Eli. But if you have a male child, he will always be begging for bread. Wow. So it's better any of your daughters who give birth to a male child, just kill the child. You are helping the child self, so that the child does not grow up suffering, because I will never help them. That's what God told Eli. That's why he cavilled. Yeah. He cried out to God, please don't let me suffer because of what my grandpa did. Okay, let's read. Let's read to verses. Let's be fast, please. We're almost done. 1 to go. Verse 13.
They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifice of my offering
and eat it.
But the Lord accepted them not. Now when you remember their iniquity and visit their sins, they shall return to Egypt.
You see that? God says, look, even if they try to give me an offering, I will not receive it. Okay, now go to chapter 9. Still on Ephraim. Because sometimes you find people say, I don't know why my life is like, what is happening? We're trying to show you. Sometimes it may not be what you did. It may be the tribe you come from. It may be the family. You say, we the Eze family. This is a generation of hunters. This is a generation of businessmen. The pioneer of the Eze family. How did they start? Let's read verses 1 to 3. 1 to go.
Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy as other people. For thou hast gotten a reward from thy God. Thou hast loved the reward upon every corn floor. The oil and the wine shall not feed them, and the new wine shall fail in her. They shall not dwell in the Lord's land, but Israel shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean things.
So you see that he said they will always be going to Egypt. They will be slaves there. Do you understand? Yes. So God no longer considered Ephraim to be a tribe in Israel anymore. Wow. That's why they didn't make it in the book of Revelations. Okay, now go to verses 7 to 8. Go to verse 7 to 8. Let's read. The days of visitations are come. The days of recompense are come. Israel shall know it. The prophet is a fool. The spiritual man is mad. For the multitude of their iniquity and the great hatred, the watchman of Israel was with my God. Is he up? Yes. He was with my God. But the prophet is a snare of a fowler in all his ways, and hatred in the house of his God. He said Israel was supposed to produce a generation of prophets. Wow. He said their prophets used to be with me, but later on they twisted. They now became traps for others. You see that? Yes. Wow. A snare. He said that's why these are the days of visitation. So some people are waiting for the last day to be judged. He said Ephraim is already judged already. They are not making it. To this day as we speak, remember the book of Revelations we just read in chapter 7 is still yet to happen. But already the people from the tribe of Ephraim already know they did not make it with God. Wow. Not as a tribe, but as individuals. You can make it with God as an individual, like Samuel the seer did. Yes. Okay, now, where are we? 9. Well, chapter 9 now, right? Yeah. Are you in chapter 9? Yes. Where did you read just now?
8.
Right? Okay, now read 11, verses 11 and verses 12, verses 13. Verses 11, we're just jumping. Verses 11, okay, read.
As for Ephraim, their glory shall fly away like a bird, from the birth and from the womb,
You see
and
that?
from the conception.
You see that? He said the women from the tribe of Ephraim, they will never give birth to children with glorious destinies. I mean, God is just, you understand?
Language of God is strong.
Even from conception. So I mean, from my say, oh, let me be pregnant. Oh, thank God, this already, someone had already been born.
Yeah.
Okay, now read verses 13. Read verses 13. Ephraim.
Tyrants is planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer.
You see that? Ephraim shall bring children. They shall offer children as sacrifice. But God is deciding it. God said, Ephraim, you want to see this thing that you are doing? I'll show you what you will do. You will do more. I will make. God is the one telling them, this is what you will do. That will make me never forgive you. Do you understand? God is already creating a destiny for them. Since this is the decision you have decided to take, with the blessings that Jacob gave you. Now, how do you think Joseph will feel looking back at his son's generation?
Yes.
Ephraim.
He'll be hurt.
And like, man. He even call, he'll go and meet his father, say, sir, come and see the people you blessed. When I was telling you it is Manasseh, I know my children. You say you know them better. They are yours. Oh yeah, children. And if you trace this thing, you need to trace who Joseph married. We didn't get to talk about that. Let me just give you that scripture. You can write it down your own because we're still in this Hosea. We're not done yet. If you read Genesis 39, verses 2 to 3 and verses 21 to 23, you get to see who Joseph married. Joseph married the daughter of a priest. The priest of On. And On, the priest was an occultic priest.
Yes.
But Joseph had no choice. It was the Pharaoh who gave him the wife to marry. You want to be prime minister, man, you must, I know God is with you, but you must balance power. And he married the daughter of an occultic priest. Potiphera was the name of the guy. Potiphera. Do you understand?
Yes,
So Joseph knows the womb that gave birth to his children.
Yes.
He said, Daddy, let's put things right.
Yes.
Because the womb that gave birth to these my children,
Kai.
if you continue with this wrong order, it will scatter. It will scatter things. Because if God backed this wrong order up, it will go haywire. And he finally did. Well, Jacob will give an excuse. Say, you know, I was blind.
Hey.
Couldn't see.
Yay.
That's why I did what I did. That's what Jacob will say. Okay, where did you tell you to read now? Let's quickly read so that we can leave now. Let's quickly read. We want us to just quickly read all these verses. It's all in Hosea. Amen. We're almost there now, right?
Yes, sir.
What was the last one you read? Verse 32, right?
Yes.
To 17, right? Have you read to verse 17?
No.
Okay, read to verse 17 now.
Give them, O Lord,
What
what
will
will
thou
thou
give?
give? Give them a miscarrying womb and dry breast.
You see that?
Wow.
That's what happened to their women. Their chests will be flat.
But I will drive them out of my house. I will love them no more. All their businesses are revolters.
Let's be fast.
Their fruit is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yea, though they bring forth, yet will I slay even the beloved fruit of their womb. My God will cast them away, because they did not hearken unto him, and they shall be wanderers among the nations.
You see that? See, there's a way a man of God can look at someone and say, because of this thing you did to me, I will deal with you. There's a way a man of God can be angry at someone and say, I will deal with this person.
It's true.
This thing that you are bragging about, I'll deal with you. Then you go and carry the book of Hosea and say, oh God, everything you said over Ephraim, let's do it for Mr. A, B, C's family. May their daughters be like this. May their sons be like this. Yes, a man of God who can talk to God. Not just any man, one who can talk to God and give God reason why. God says, Lord, this is the reason. Let the curse you pronounced over the generation of Ephraim, let it be upon this one. I know this person says he's a Christian. None of them shall ever make it with you. They will never make it at the rapture. If anyone is their generation is going to make it, it will be on an individual thing. Their family will never know have any. In fact, there's a part, because of time, we will not read it, where Moses told God, Lord, this family, every one of them, whoever shall be born, Father, may they never have a memorial before you. Yeah. May you never have any memory of them. Lord, may they never make it. Moses told God, never have a memory of these people. Yes. So there are some people who don't exist before God because somebody said something to God. God is telling us, they are going to tell them. Now, we say, people of Ephraim, women of Ephraim, your breast shall be dry, your womb shall be flat. Even your conception, the children you will give birth to will never have any destiny. Wow. This was the blessed one. Once blessed before. The most preferred one time.
How shall I give thee up, Ephraim?
He's thinking, what will I still do? With all the things that I've said, he said, hey, all these things. This chapter 1 now. Chapter 11. From chapter 4. God has been cursing Ephraim coming. And God is still saying it's not enough. Hey, what can I do? What is that thing that I still need to say concerning Ephraim? Let's read. Verses 8 to 9. Want to go?
How shall I give thee up, Ephraim? How shall I deliver thee, O Israel? How shall I make thee as Admah? How shall I set thee as Zebulun? My heart is turned from thee. My repentance are kindled together. I will not execute the fierceness of my anger. I will not return to destroy children. For I am God and not man, the Holy One in the midst of thee. And I will not enter into the city.
Yeah. Because you know what, I'll just leave you alone. I'll never come near you. That's terrible. Okay. Here, they produce oil, but they will not be able to. Did you know the richest countries actually in the world are the poorest?
Yes.
They have so much resource,
yes,
but others are taking it away from
yes,
them. That's what you see here. Okay. Let's go to verses, I think verses 11. Where did we just read now? Eh? What chapter are we now?
12.
We're in chapter 12?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Read verses 8. Have you read verses 8?
No.
Okay, read verses 8, then we read verses 13 and 14. Okay, I want to go.
And Ephraim said, Yea, I am become rich. I have found me out of substance. In all my labor they shall find no iniquity in me that were sin.
Okay, now go to verses what? We told you verse 13 and 14.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's read.
By a prophet the Lord brought out of Egypt, and by a prophet was he preserved. Ephraim provoked him to anger most bitterly. Therefore shall he leave his blood upon him, and his reproach shall his Lord return unto him.
Okay, now go to chapter 13 now. Remember, that is where we started from. Okay, let's read verses 1, verses 4, verses 7. 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 Then we'll close. Verses 1, read.
When Ephraim spake trembling, he exalted himself in Israel, but when he offended in vow, he died.
You see that?
Yeah.
God is saying, you talk tough, you come to church here, you oppress us in the temple. But outside in the enemy's camp, you are afraid. Have you noticed some people, they can't come to church. I can talk to any man of God, I can talk to pastor anyhow, and the way I like, but their boss at work, their supervisor is yes ma. God say you do that. That's the spirit of Ephraim at work in those kind of people. Okay, verses 4. Read.
I am the Lord thy God from the land of Egypt, and thou shalt know no God but me. For there is no Savior beside
God is saying, what you don't know is that you think I'm only God in Israel. Even the Egypt you run to, I'm their God too.
Exactly.
I see everything you do. Okay, what verse again did we say? Verse 7. I read now.
Therefore I will be unto them as a leper by the way I observe them.
Do you understand? He's saying, if what you don't know is that any time, anywhere you go to, I camouflage. You know a leopard?
Yes, sir.
With the terrain they are praying, you can hardly notice.
Yes.
God is saying, sometimes I'll pray that way, I camouflage. I see everything you do. Now, You think about how busy God is with all the resources of heaven that He has. He abandoned heavenly matters and decided to face Ephraim. And children were being born into that tribe every year. They were born into uselessness. Listen, this is the same God we're serving. No?
Yes.
But this was the guy who was once blessed by Jacob, the almighty Jacob.
Yes, sir.
See, be careful with your methods.
Honestly.
You may think you have it now. You may think you have it now. The hands that were laid on you to bless you, will the hands look back and say, we regret ever empowering you? Remember, is that not what happened to King Saul?
Yes, sir.
King Saul,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
He was even ordained by an Ephraimite. Samuel the seer was an Ephraimite who blessed a Benjamite.
Yes.
But what did Samuel the seer say? He said, if King Saul know I'm in town, he will kill me. He said, the hands that I laid on this guy made him, produced a monster. I regret this guy. And God hated King Saul till he died. He ended up in the hands of a witch. That's the thing. See, when you are ordained, when a man of God lays hands on you to bless you, it is not the blessing you should focus on. It is whether or not you will be able to last.
Yes.
Because that blessing that you carry, that thing that was released unto you, it will drive you like a mad horse.
Yes. Yes.
Mad horse.
Yes.
To drive you like a mad horse. And any blessing a man of God pronounces on you has opened you up, has introduced you to forces of the highest levels of darkness. Because of the level such a man of God stands in the spirit.
Yes, sir. Yes.
The higher a man of God is in the realm of the spirit and the influence they carry, of course, the more dangerous they are to the forces of darkness, which is why now, when such a man of God picks interest in you to bless you, you become the target of those forces.
Yes.
To let the man of God know you were a mistake.
Yes.
So, really, if you ask Jacob, who were you really protecting when you were blessing Ephraim? He will tell you, I was protecting Manasseh.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want him to expose.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want him to be exposed to the spirit in our household.
Yes, sir.
I was protecting him so that he can make it at the end.
Yes, sir. Yes,
This
sir.
guy, he can't do. Today we talk about Judah. Where's Joseph? Nobody really talks about Joseph. But Joseph, the blessing he carries is more than that of Judah. Why? So sometimes there's a way you can carry a blessing. Let's close. Father, we bless your name. Lord, help me. May I never end up like Ephraim. In my life and destiny, may I never end up like Ephraim. Help my destiny, my ministry, my calling, in my finances, in my marital life, may I never end up like Ephraim. Talk to the Lord. Talk to the Lord. Bless his name.
Have mercy upon me, O God.